Solidarity.
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 My name is Hassan. After the coup on July 15th, Erdoğan instituted a state of emergency, and he's used that to purge a lot of people that he thinks might be politically threatening to him and his agenda. Thousands of academics, journalists, civil servants have been fired from their jobs. Thousands of people have been arrested. There have been operations in the southeast against the Kurdish population that have been really brutal. He's encouraged vigilantes, right-wing vigilantes, to kind of take the streets and intimidate people. And it's just like another step toward fascism that's really alarming for all those Turkish people who were excited about, Gezi and the possibility of real revolution there.
And there's a hunger strike going on. Why don't you talk about that?
So for 74 days now, I believe, Nuriye Gülmen and Semih Özakça have been on strike. They were both fired from their jobs.
What kind of jobs did they have?
Nuriye Gülmen was an academic. She was a professor of literature. And,
Where at?
Pardon? At, I believe it was Eskişehir University, but don't quote me on that. And Semih Özakça was a primary school teacher. And so they've been on hunger strike. They've had demands including the lifting of the state of emergency, that people be returned to their jobs, that they have job security.
So they were fired without a hearing or on any kind of process?
This is completely at whim, which is illegal even, in Turkish law because we have unions and things like that. But, all of those workers' rights were suspended effectively with the state of emergency.
What is happening to journalists in Turkey and the right to report on what's happening?
Yeah, well, Turkey once upon a time had the highest number of newspapers per capita, and now we are one of the countries that has the highest rate of incarceration of journalists. And journalists specifically are targeted. And a lot of the journalists who are being targeted aren't even particularly radical or subversive. I mean, it's just kind of like garden variety social democrats and liberals that are getting, arrested and isolated. And
even major newspapers and TV stations. Why don't you talk about the shutdown? What's happening?
Yeah, major. I mean, Cumhuriyet and newspapers that have been like major institutions in Turkey, but also, Zagros TV was a TV station that translated cartoons into Kurmanji Kurdish, and they were shut down on the pretense that it was something like terrorist propaganda or something like this. I mean, it's really, really nutty stuff, and it's really clear to anyone who's observing that it isn't about anything, not that would make it right, but it's not really about anything related to national security or anything that Erdoğan is claiming. It really is just...
Erdoğan what is he doing with these properties that they're seizing? I understand they're taking over properties and giving them to members of his party?
Yeah.
That seizure, basically stealing the properties.
Basically, yeah. But that's nothing new. I mean, it's concerning because it's being done in such a bold way, in such a vulgar way, and the pretense of democracy and the pretense of, civil rights or human rights is kind of thrown out the window, which is the next level of oppression and capitalist enclosure. But privatization has been going on in Turkey for years. I mean, it started with the regime of Turgut Özal in the 80s and the military coup, and it's just been going on since then. So this is capitalist enclosure and neoliberal authoritarianism in its naked form. And we shouldn't minimize the difference between going through political channels and just engaging basically in just like mob violence, top-down, state-sanctioned mob violence, but it is something that has been going on for many years.
Just recently, Erdoğan was here visiting with President Trump, and they had an attack. Were you surprised at the viciousness of that attack on protesters outside the Turkish embassy in Washington, D.C.?
I was taken aback, but I wasn't shocked. I mean, Erdogan, we got to remember, this is the same guy who visited the site of a mining disaster and physically assaulted grieving members of the miners' families. I mean, this is nothing new for him. I mean, I don't know if you remember what happened then. You know, he followed a guy into a store and he personally chased a guy into a store, and there were allegations that he slapped a young girl in the face for saying, "Why did you kill my father?" And he was screaming, Israel dölü, which means you sperm of Israel. I mean, really just like outlandish stuff.
Is he a gangster?
Pardon?
Is he a gangster?
He's not. I mean, is he more of a gangster than any sort of
Trump?
capitalist politician? I mean, it's his persona is that of like a tough guy. You know, he comes from a neighborhood in Istanbul which is kind of known for its tough guys. Kasımpaşa, you know, they make films about it and stuff, and he kind of he definitely puts off that alpha male. I'm sorry, I'm not super articulate today. I'm hungry. My blood sugar is low.
Okay.
When Turkish people
So what
don't
can people do in the United States? I mean, you're having this solidarity action here in San Francisco. There's a strike going on also of CWA workers here.
Yeah.
They've attacked the unions in Turkey. They privatized telecom in Turkey and attacked workers there. So there's a connection.
Well, you know, capital is international, and you know, these are not isolated struggles. I mean, intersectionality is where it's at. You know, I think that number one, supporting the Turkish resistance, not just complaining about Erdogan and you know, bringing up all these racist stereotypes and using Orientalist language of barbaric and thugs and stuff, but you know, honoring that there are people in Turkey, people in Rojava, people in Iran who are struggling against dictators like this and against authoritarians like this, and struggling against capitalism. You know, not just dictators, but also authority at the workplace, authority in the home, struggling against patriarchy, struggling against racism. You know, so I think, yeah, just building those bridges. Reading not just CNN and The Economist, but also translations of, you know, media coming out from Turkish activists on the ground out there, from, you know, Bianet and BIA.net and Sandika.org and, you know, outlets like that. You know, sometimes it's hard to get a translation, but I think it's really important.
Labor organizer boyfriend.
My name is Cedide. I'm originally from Turkey, and I'm here for hunger strike for one day, just for one day, with our friends here to support two academicians who were fired for no reason, for no apparent reason, for not being the pro-government. And these people have been went to the same spot to resist every day for 185 days to the same spot to ask for their jobs back and to ask for the government to stop firing people for no apparent reasons. Like over 150,000 people, I think, I believe, have been fired for not being pro-government again. And these people showed they went there for every day, and police attacked them brutally every day and put them into prison, and then they released. The next morning they went back again. This is the kind of treatment or the kind of resilience that they are having, and after so many times being resistant and being taken into prison, they turn their resistance into hunger strike. and they are determined that either they're gonna get their jobs back or they're gonna die for not eating, because then they cannot work for the jobs that they love. They don't think the living is not important, and they are dying for every one of us and showing that how to stay strong and stand on their feet and take fight with their own bodies. There is nothing beyond this. We just can't live with the fear, without the freedom. It's just not worth it. And this is for everyone, not just, I mean, they are doing it not just for themselves, but for a better world.
Okay, what's your name?
My name is Ibrahim Edip Kurtçu. I'm from this planet. Actually, I don't believe in borders and flags. I'm a communist. It's a long time I believe and I trust that system. Today I'm here because of I would like to support to my friends in Turkey, in the world, who get hunger strike. You know, in Turkey has fascist AKP government, and this government leader is Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, who is now president, illegal president, my beliefs. And today and every day I support my friends who has a hunger strike. Today and forever.
After hearing what Edip said, I think I left out an important identity of me. I'm also a socialist, and I'm here as a socialist, not just any hunger strike supporter. And I believe in that system, and that's the ultimate system that I aim for to live in, because that's where we live as a human being, honorable human being.
My name is Aykut from Turkey. We try to create awareness about what's going on in Turkey. Currently, there is a big hunger strike against Turkish government policy, which created. They fire almost over 100,000 government employees because under the martial law, which wasn't this was against human rights. There wasn't any reason. They didn't present any reason to them, and then not only they lost their job, also as a government employee and fired under martial law, they are not able to find job in the country. Plus, their passport taken from them. They cannot even travel out of United States. I mean, out of Turkey. This is totally, shows that how we close to dictatorship in Turkey. On the other hand, this hunger strike became the symbol of the resistance against current AKP Erdoğan dictatorship. So we try to show that to San Franciscan people to understand what's going on.
Nuriye ve Gülmen bugün bizler işlerimizi bile kaybetmeyi göze alamazken yaşamlarını masaya yatırdılar. Daha onurlu bir yaşam için mücadele ediyorlar, direniyorlar. Bugün toplum olarak vicdanlarımızın aynasını yüzümüze yansıtarak sahip çıkmamız lazım. Çünkü Nuriye ve Semih dayatılan KHK'lar ile işlerinden edilen insanların yaşam alanlarının nasıl daraltıldığını, açık bir cezaevine dönüştürüldüğünü bize gösteriyorlar. Bu yüzden Nuriye ve Semih'in sesi olmamız lazım. Sadece Nuriye ve Semih'in değil, tüm adaletsizliklere karşı seslerine ses katmamız lazım. Son olarak Nuriye ve Semih yaşasın diyorum.